praiseworthy. I too shall use all of mine. So, don't you dare disappoint me. Foul Legacy, the Devouring Deep!
Okay, let's talk to this numbskull. See if something happened.
It's us again!
Traveler, Paimon, welcome back.
Paimon's already used to meeting Albedo like that.
Thank you so much. I knew I could count on you. Naturally, you were crucial to my research.
Of course.
Glad to hear that.
I'll never forget your kindness.
Should be powerful enough, right?
More or less. But tell me, how do you feel? Good. There's no side effects, no corruption or poison. Looks like I've been correct all along.
This guy, pretending to be a prophet.
How do you like the sword? Is that so? Regardless, it's reached the desired state.
Why are you holding the sword? Albedo, what are you trying to do? Don't mess around!
I want to extract the purified life force from within it.
Can this force exist outside of the sword?
What's impossible for some might be just within my reach. All done.
Wow, this energy looks like a ball of light. You put it into a mysterious bottle.
This sword might not be a divine weapon, but it'll make a fine memento. I hope it can be of some help during your travels. I needed it for the sake of my research. I've already obtained the results of the experiment. This sword belongs to you, a person who knows how to use it. Thank you for your assistance with completing this research. Well then, goodbye. This dragon's life force resonates with me. Not because it's a dragon, but because I am... me. Rhine daughter, master. Is this your creation? The giant dragon Durin? Was the two of us meeting really a good thing?
What am I to do? So it is you, traveler. It's nothing, just a small problem. This treasure-seeking Seelie has suddenly stopped paying any attention to me, so I'm in a bit of a fix. Well, I wouldn't call it speaking. That would be exaggerated. We are ultimately the guide and the guided. I picked this little fellow up inside a ruin, It was trapped at the time. It took me quite a bit of effort to exaggerate it, though. I guess it must have wanted to thank me. After that, it would sometimes lead me to find some treasure. I actually made quite a pile with this little help. But for whatever reason, the Steely stopped paying me any mind as of late. If you ask me, I think it's looking for a new partner. I darned give it away carelessly, but I can't find any reliable hands to team up with at a short notice either. Companions? Bunch of greedy curls they are. I wouldn't trust them as far as I could throw them, to say nothing of working with them. If I didn't need the extra information and leads, I'd have left them a long time ago. How about this then? What would you say to working with me, traveler? Doesn't matter. The way I see it, this treasure-seeking Seelie took a real shine to you the moment I saw you. It didn't react at all when I saw those companions of mine. Let me tell you that. So how about it? Let's say we team up and earn ourselves a pretty sum. Great. Partners then. Come, take this treasure-seeking Seelie. Your partners in the venture, too, after all. Ah, yes. It almost slipped my mind. Let me think. Well, this treasure-seeking Seelie is different from other Seelies. It won't lead you to the spot where the treasure is hidden, but it will give you hints as to whether the treasure is nearby or far away. Basically, it twinkles a little. See? Also, this fellow isn't all that fond of popping out of most of the time, so you'll have to wake it up some time and time. Once it's awake, it will guide you, but it doesn't say stay out of very long, so you're going to have to focus. Oh, right. When you go treasure hunting with it, you might also encounter some iron coins to go with your loot. Most merchants won't take this ancient currency, but you can give them to me instead. I have my uses for them. You can trade them in with me for suitable rewards too. As for the size of that reward, well, that will depend on the amount of iron coins you have on you. And lastly, this book is for you. The locations marked out on this book most currently have treasure. This is based on information that I've spent much time gathering. Unfortunately, the treasure-seeking Seelie stopped listening to me before I could find these treasures. So I suppose I can only rely on you now. Happy hunting. Oh, okay. Only buy that 3 times, so you can get 300 of that, and then there's... You can only exchange for one type of mini-stealing. Okay. Dayfire, mini-stealing, Rose, and mini-stealing Kakuma. A memento from Lost Riches event. Equip it to obtain a mini-stealing companion. A miniature golden Seelie. It gives off a feeling very similar to that of Mora. They say that Seelie of this color represent good fortune. Well, out of everything it's giving out of sales, it'll be the Primo Gems and this I want, and maybe one of these. You can only pick one.
It's shocking how much work there is to do, even for the three of us.
And she's been handling it alone all along. The Qixing secretary clearly isn't an ordinary person. It's so frustrating.
You're just...
Aren't you Ningguang's servants? How come you're here?
We are Miss Ningguang's private secretaries, not servants.
Have you seen Miss Ganyu, Traveler? It has been several days since Ganyu left for Jueyun Karst. She's the general secretary of the Liyue Qixing. We've only taken over her responsibilities until she gets back.
Even though the Qixing have made peace with the Adepti after the latter had denounced Liyue, they still want to pay their respects to the Illuminated Ones. They commissioned Ganyu as their envoy to deliver a letter to Jueyun Karst and bring the Adepti the latest news about the crisis. Still, Ganyu should have been back to her usual responsibilities by now, but she's disappeared without a trace.
Is that so? Maybe Ganyu just took a little detour. Who can blame her after working so hard?
I'm afraid it's not very likely. Ever since we met Ms. Ganyu, she's been nothing but the most conscientious person in all of Liyue. Even when it's time for her annual leave, Ms. Ganyu stays on duty at Yue High Pavilion saying, there is still so much to do.
She needs a vacation badly.
She couldn't possibly be using her mission as an excuse to slack off.
Oh, yeah, little mind. Everyone can slack off.
Oh, Paimon sees how it is. But she's half Adeptus. She wouldn't get in trouble, right? Why do you look so upset?
It's because of this absurd workload of hers. When we first heard the three of us would be taking over for Miss Ganyu, we thought it would simply be a matter of changing our work environment.
We couldn't have imagined that Miss Ganyu's daily workload far exceeds what the three of us are used to doing.
Speaking of Jueyun Karst, Traveler, I've heard that you can go in and out of there as you please.
Of course! We've been there lots of times.
That's good news. Could you go to Jueyun Karst and find Miss Ganyu for us? Preferably before we collapse under this workload. We're saved. I remember Miss Ganyu said that she'd be visiting Cloud Retainer's abode. You might as well start looking for her there.
It's about time she came back to work. Otherwise...
No, perhaps we should go to Lady Ningguang first and bring up our overtime pay again.
Damn.
So Ganyu left to visit Cloud Retainer. Doesn't she live in Mount Aozong? We should hurry up. Paimon hopes we can find her there. Over there! That's Ganyu! We finally found her! Ganyu! Here you are!
You two. I did not expect to meet you here. Is it official or private affairs that bring you here? I shouldn't. I have left the human world. Please contact the Yue High Pavilion regarding matters concerning the commercial port.
Huh? You don't want to be the Qixing secretary anymore? But they're all waiting for you to come back!
That's why you're here? You want me to come back? I'm afraid you came here in vain.
What? Did something happen?
The clouds fold and unfold. The tide ebbs and flows. It was meant to be. When the Adepti entrusted humans with overseeing Liyue, I knew it was only a matter of time until I had to leave.
Why would you have to leave?
My Adepti blood makes me unwelcome in Liyue Harbor.
You were never unwelcome in Liyue. What the fuck made you think that?
I delivered the letter and came back to Liyue Harbor, only to discover that I had been replaced by Baiwen, Baishao, and Baishe. Perhaps that mission of mine was just a pretext to remove me. Since the Qixing gave me a chance to leave with dignity, I decided to be tactful as well. I appreciate your kindness, but there's no need for your words of comfort.
It's not comfort, it's the fact there is a miscommunication. They were only to stall for you.
After 1,000 years away, I came back to Juyun Karst. Looking at the clouds floating among the mountains brings me peace of mind. I feel better now.
But...
Who disturbs the peace of these mountains?
Ah, shit.
Cloud Retainer, we're terribly sorry. We just...
One merely jests. One felt your presence the moment you set foot upon this land.
Wow, you Adepti really are impressive.
Come here to chat about the old times with Ganyu. It looks like you get along quite well. A matter leaves you at an impasse then. Not to worry. One is exceptional at seeking avenues for conversation. One has been one's own companion in idle talk for many a year. Yes. Since you are Ganyu's friends, tales from her youth shall one apprise you of, perhaps?
Oh, Cloud Retainer.
Nothing to be ashamed of. You were so cute as a child. One is most certain that your friends would like to hear of it.
I am a bit curious, honestly.
Oh, Paimon wants to hear it.
Little Ganyu loved when the horns on the top of her head were caressed. When one was still taking care of her, one was pestered most often to touch her horns. She was elsewise loath to sleep.
Wow.
Plump she was back then. Why, when she stumbled while we ascended the mountain, she would roll down to the bottom like a little ball. The day Ganyu bumped into a pilgrim was the first time she saw a real human in the flesh. So fearful she was that she hid in a rock's cleft for 2 days and nights. One found her wailing of a monster she had seen.
Cloud Retainer? Forget it. It's about time for my training. I will take my leave.
One's intention was merely to relieve the awkward tension.
And you did the exact opposite. Impressive.
Be that so? But returning to Ganyu, most gladdened one is of your arrival. One cannot help but feel that remaining in Juyun Karst shall not be good for her. One will tell you more about her, if you should permit it. Most benevolent among all Adepti are the Qilin. They drink only spring water and eat only whole grain. But perhaps the mountainous dwellings of Adepti in Juyun Karst might be too lonely for her human side. Under moonlight did one see her last. She stood by the precipice's edge, and upon the mist-veiled mountains she gazed. Her thin figure was immersed in the vast sea of clouds. One noticed her loneliness and sought to convince her to go back to the human world. But just then, she said thus.
Liyue Harbor feels even lonelier than Juyun Karst. When I look at the sea of clouds in Juyun Karst, I merely feel the loneliness of a solitary cloud gazer. When I step into the sea of people in Liyue, I feel the loneliness of an inhuman that doesn't belong in the human world.
One did, by chance, hear this much of Ganyu's thoughts. Alone, she will find her predicament hard to conquer. One hopes that you will accompany her.
Oh, Retainer's right. We can't leave Ganyu depressed like that. Besides, Liyue hasn't given up on her. She's got it all wrong. Anyways, what's that training Ganyu was talking about?
She has sought to reclaim her Adeptus side since returning to Joyun Karst. At her behest, one has organized training for her to achieve that end. She should be in the southern part of Mount Aozang right now, preparing for the trial.
Huh, is that so? Let's go take a look then.
This trial will test her spirit. Even so, one hopes that it shall trouble her little.
Well, seems like she cares about her like a mother. I didn't expect to see her act like this. Cloud Retainer was always kind of aggressive a bit toward humans, which is understandable with the history, but to see how she acts toward her, it's actually quite caring. It's honestly quite nice. It's nice to see her being kind of motherly towards something, or someone. Still, I'm wondering, what is this thing she's about to do? Is she about to fly through all that shit? Is she about to do something there? I don't know.